and Professor in the Department of Computer Science Engineering, Vale Tech Multitech, Dr. Rangarajan, Dr. Shakuntala Engineering College, Avadi, Chennai 62. So, before I could start the session, I will just introduce myself. I currently work as Is the screen visible to everyone? Hope it does. I currently work as a Dean and Professor in the Department of Computer Science Engineering, Vale Tech Multitech, Dr. Rangarajan, Dr. Shakuntala Engineering College, Avadi, Chennai. And I'm also the Innovation Head for the entire campus. Apart from this, as a freelancer, I work as a corporate trainer, train people in different technologies such as mainframe and AS400. I'm a freelancer trainer. I also train people on SAP, ABAP, and ABAP HR. Prior to joining this Vale Tech group, I have served as a principal in Jaya Institute of Technology for the past 4+ years. And prior to that, I was heading 2 departments in SRM University, Vadapani campus. I was heading the departments of Computer Science Engineering and the Department of MCA. As well, prior to that, I have as well worked as a staff member in St. Peter's Engineering College, Avadi. So these are some of my badges that I have received from IBM. That is, the badges that has been displayed over here relates to today's session. And these are some of the certifications that I have scored, online certifications that I have scored from Cognitive Class IBM, as well from Alizons and from Simply Learn. So whatever certifications I have shared, it's all with respect to today's session, and we will be, I have taken some crumbs from those certifications too. So those details will be handled in today's session. And apart from this, I have given video lectures in NPTEL and in SWAYAM courses, which is live. And as far as NPTEL is concerned, I have given a video lecture for the subject called software engineering, wherein we have participants of 1,400+ participants, and this is and I am said to be the first person from a private engineering college to give video lectures in NPTEL and SWAYAM. Usually people will be listening to video lectures and they will be writing the exams, but even I used to do so, but this is the first time even I have given video lectures in NPTEL for software engineering and for the other subject called operating systems. Apart from this, I have given many different shows in the TV programs. For to name a few, in Kalvi TV, I have which is telecasted on almost on all days during the weekdays between 3 to 3:30 for a program called Edirkol Vetrikol, which is for the competitive examinations. So I have given certain lectures for them, and I have also given certain chat programs in Pudhiya Thalamarai Urakka Pesungal, and in UGC Gyan Darshan I have given certain programs, and for Podigai TV, and I was one of the guests for some of the competitive programs. So this is about me. And apart from this, some of the professional highlights is concerned, I was a NPTEL course translator for Internet of Things. As far as the course translator job is concerned, we will be translating the contents from English to the regional language, that is Tamil. And apart from this, I am being assigned as one of the Atal Niti Aayog Tinkering Labs mentor, and I am assigned for a school called Sethu Bhaskara Matriculation Higher Secondary School, Pudur, Ambattur, Chennai. And I have delivered hands-on session for Agile software development in Kalasalingam University, as well, and I have delivered one mainframe program for a college called KLN Institute of Technology, Pottapalayam, Sivagangai district. And I have trained people on Agile software development exclusively on Scrum methodology, Scrum framework. Scrum is not a methodology, Scrum is a framework. The difference between methodology and framework is tailor-made, customizable. And I'm said to be one of the and I'm said to be I have completed my IBM DB2, and I possess that is an online certification. These are some of the credits that I possess. Now, getting into our own course. So this is about me. So I will stop this screen share. Now we will see about what are data sciences. One moment. So let us have a look at what data science is. See, as I heard from the college people, there are participants from varied departments, from Department of Tamil, Physics, Plant Biology, so on and so forth. People are interested in learning data science and they wanted to know what data science is. So, presuming the candidates, presuming the participants from varied group of different departments, I'm not going into the details of individual algorithms or the flow. I'm going to give you an overview of what data science is, and that's the topic, sprinkles from data science. So I'll be giving you an overview and an insight of what a data science is. Now, so this is what we are going to see for this entire session. We'll be seeing what a data science is, why people need to go in for a data science, what are the types of data that people need to carry over or people need to concentrate in order to work with the data science, how the data science works, and we'll be seeing the components of data science, and we will also see the users who are using the data science, the so-called Illuminatis. We will discuss about who are the Illuminatis who use this data science. We will be seeing about the glimpses of few data science algorithms, and then we will see what are the skills needed for becoming a data scientist, and we will see the tools required for data science. As well, we will also see the applications of data science and the challenges in data science and the job roles in data science, and we will conclude the session. I know pretty well that this is said to be an afternoon session and you people have had a very good lunch and you might become sleepy, but I will see to that you are not sleeping. So let us go into to know about what a data science is. A data science is a study of data. What is data? Wherever you go, whatever you do, you speak about data. You collect the data. Okay, what are you going to do with the data? How you are going to work with the data? That is what the matters. That what matters. So here, when we are going to take a data, we will as well, since almost all are from the college environment, all will be concentrating on the admission part. We will take a real-time example of collecting a student data and how do you convert people and how do you make them join in XYZ college or join in your own college. So how the data science applies in terms of the college admissions even. So that also we will have a real-time example. So prior to that, you will see the basics of what a data science is. A data science is about a study of data. A data is a raw fact. What is a fact? A truth. So data science enables a person to translate a business problem. Enables a person to translate a business problem into a research project, and then it translates back to a practical solution. See, first of all, you need to analyze the problem. You need to have the problem. You need to take it in. You need to analyze of how you're going to solve it, and then you need to give a solution for it. So that is what we are going to concentrate on. So it is the area of study which involves extracting insights from vast amount of data by the use of various scientific methods, algorithms, and processes. It involves developing methods of recording, storing, analyzing data to effectively extract useful information. So As far as the insights of data is concerned, the data is broadly classified into two types. One is called as a structured data, other one is called as an unstructured data. Okay, what do you mean by structured data? What is an unstructured data? Okay, what are you going to do with this? Finally, you are going to identify the hidden patterns that is available in the raw data. So that is our primary goal. So now, what is a structured data? What is an unstructured data? A structured data is nothing but, see, for example, you have a phone, you have a credit card, you have the PIN codes. Now, what can you infer from this diagram, from this image? A phone, a mobile number will be of 10 digits, wherein in terms of credit card, it will be of 16 digits. 4 digits will be paired together. So it will be of 16 digits. As far as the PIN code is concerned, it will be of 6 digits. That is, here, as far as structured data is concerned, you know the number of digits that a particular example holds. A mobile phone will have only 10 digits. A credit card will have only 16 digits. PIN code will have 6 digits. This is called structured data. Then now, what is an unstructured data? As far as the unstructured data is concerned, it is about the images, audio, video. So there are so many contents available. So when you are going to take the data, you get it in lump sum. Now you need to know, you need to classify, you need to segregate, you need to associate, you need to cluster. You need to find out what data is to be taken, how it is to be utilized, and how you are going to work on. That is called as an unstructured data. Now, so we have seen these two types of data. Now we will see why we are going in for the data science. The data science, the data is said to be the oil for today's world. Without data, nothing is possible. With data, everything is possible. Data science can be of great help to detect the fraudulent measures which can be embedded by using the machine learning algorithms. So we will see the glimpse of the machine learning algorithms, but we are not going to go into the details as I said in the earlier minutes. Now, it helps people to prevent any significant loss, money loss, monetary benefits, and it can be used to perform the sentimental analysis to build the customer brand loyalty. What do you mean by sentimental analysis? What is a customer brand loyalty? First of all, okay, let us complete it and then I'll get back. Then it enables to take better and faster decision making. It helps to recommend the right product to the right customer to enhance their business. Now, first of all, if I have a data, let us say I have a data, I want to do marketing. Do you mean that, see, if I know, if I'm going to manufacture something, I want to market something. Do you mean to say that after you manufacture, immediately you go in for marketing? Then definitely not. After you manufacture, you are supposed to register your brand. First of all, you need to have a brand recognition. Then you need to go in for advertising. Then you need to go in for marketing. So first of all, your brand name has to be registered. There will be n number of companies, n number of competitors. If you want to stand apart, you need to register your brand. So you need to be a man apart from the entire crowd. So you need to register yourself. You need to register the brand. Brand should be recognized and it should be advertised, and then only it has to be marketed. So for doing this, we have the sentimental analysis, which builds the customer brand loyalty. Now, let us see how the data science works. See, these are the, I suppose for everyone the screen is viewable. These are the 5 terminologies, 5 jargons, which are highly useful for anyone whoever wants to pursue their career or wants to know about what the data science is. So these are the 5 different jargons you need to take up for working with a data science. And if you want to become a data scientist, you need to know these 5 different terms. First term is called data acquisition. Second term is called data transformation. Third term is called data analysis. Fourth term is called data modeling. Fifth term is called data visualization. Now, what is a data acquisition? What do you mean by data acquisition? In literal terms, what is acquisition? Acquisition is collecting huge amount of data, collecting large volumes of data. Now, you have collected the large volumes of data. Now, you need to know whatever you have collected, that data has to be cleaned. See, you cannot use all the data that you have collected. You have to clean the data. You have to take the appropriate contents, whatever is required for your task, for completing your task. That is where the data transformation takes place. So that is where the data cleaning takes place. So you're preparing the data, whatever you have taken in, whatever you have acquired, you are collecting the data, you are cleaning the data, you are preparing the data in order to complete your own task. Now, after completing the task, after transforming, after preparing the data, that data has to be analyzed. How you are going to analyze? Let us see. Kindly, the participants are requested to note down these 5 different terminologies. We will incorporate these terminologies with a real-time example of a college admission, right? Then, so we are going to analyze the data. Then, after analyzing, what you are going to do? We are going to go in for data modeling. What do you mean by data modeling? Here, in this 4th phase only, the algorithm comes into picture, wherein it differs from the people whoever is working with the data science. So the first 3 phases are common. The first 3 terms are common in terms of data collection. The 4th phase gives a major difference in terms of identifying algorithm and using the algorithm. Then, whatever algorithm they used, how we are going to visualize it, how we are going to showcase it. See, if I'm going to project myself, how we are going to project matters. If I'm going to give a big document to you, say if it is fully of paragraphs together, what happens? It will take huge amount of time to read the document. If the same document, it has been given as an image, as a picture is worth 1,000 words. Similarly, how you visualize things. Similarly, how if the same paragraph has been determined in terms of tables, if the same paragraph, if it has been given in terms of charts, pie graphs, then visualization matters. So the more and more if you are comfortable with visualizing, the more and more easy you can gather the data. Now, in the age-old days, people used to read only books, and take down certain contents from the materials. They take down certain contents from the books that they have. But nowadays, anything and everything is available in the net. Anything and everything is available in Google. Anything and everything is available in YouTube. What happens here is, so when we are going to see visually through video, we are able to capture contents at a faster pace. When there is a program on cookery, how to cook a food, if it is being given in terms of book, when you read, you will not get the utmost content. But if the same cookery is being telecast in a better way, fine. Now, here, what happens is that this is about the data vision. And mainly, this data science is, according to me, it is more suitable for the women employees, the ladies. Why? Because the ladies are good at gossiping. The ladies are good at collecting more amount of data. If you're going to say one small incident to them, there are certain exception cases, there are certain exceptional cases, but by and large, what they will do is they will be extracting information, they will be extracting the content, the data, and they will make it into a bigger sense, and they will try to analyze, they will get as many points as possible, and finally after the analysis they will in turn they will start questioning you, and at one point of time you will struggle answering to their questions. So that becomes, and that is all shown in the visual means. So that is the reason I said data science or the data scientist job will be a most suitable job for the lady members, whoever is good at gossiping, whoever is good at collecting data, good at collecting information. And the difference between data and information is data are said to be raw facts, information is refined data, processed data, you call it as an information. So they are good at collecting the refined processed data from the male partner or from XYZ. So that is the crux of data science. So here in this, the study of data science can be easily understood by a female faculty member than by a male faculty member, because they go in and out of collecting data. Then let us see the components of data science, which is a replica or which is an extended version of the previous slide. Here, what are the components that are required? People, they need to do statistics. They need to have a statistical measure. See, if I'm going to say, if I'm going to earn somewhere around 20,000 per month, so if I'm going to give it to my spouse, she will not be using the entire 20,000 instantly at day one. The same 20,000, if I'm going to have it, I may finish it off in some 2 or 3 days, but she will be using it for 1 month's time. She will be doing the budgeting work. She will be evaluating how it is to be done, what sort of measures, where we need to invest, where we need to procure, where we need to save. So those statistical calculations, that is what the female are better. So statistical data is one of the components of data science. And when budgeting is being given, they should have a sort of domain expertise. They should know, they should understand the problem. That is what we call it as, in terms of business, we call it as a business problem. A customer, when he's going to say, it is to be understood by the data scientist. If you're going to understand the contents only, we can work out with we can collect, we can evaluate, we can do all sort of content things. That is called domain experts. Now, with this statistics and with this domain expertise, based on the statistics, they do the data engineering. Data engineering is, they do the analysis part. I have this content, I have this phone number. See, for example, when someone calls you to a mobile number, she will be checking who is calling, at what time he has called, how many minutes people have spoken, how many minutes the conversation has happened, how many ever times this call has been received, and how many ever times this call has been recorded. Such a kind of analysis has been done. That comes under this data engineering. Then, after all sort of recordings has been, all sort of analysis has been done, it should be presented in a visualized manner. As I said, it should be presented in a form of charts, in a form of pictorial representation, in a form of any visual representations, in a form of graphs. And then this visual representation will evolve into a practical solution. So now you can correlate the content with the definition that we saw initially, which moves into the practical solution, which comes under this advanced computing. Now, here this is just a replica of what statistics is. It is a method of science of collecting, analyzing numerical data, large quantities. Visualization helps to access huge amount of data. In terms of visual means, machine learning. Now, what is a machine learning? A machine learning is where we do all sorts of predictions. See, data science by and large itself is a prediction, where you predict, you give, like you say that these are the solutions possible. It will be correct, but there are possibilities that it may even go wrong. It is mainly of prediction. It is an extension of the data mining. So now we will see the users who are involved in the data science. Who are the users involved? We call them as, nowadays we call them as the Illuminatis. The Google is the biggest Illuminati. What is an Illuminati? Illuminati is the people or the people who control the entire world. You mean to say that with your data they cannot control? Definitely they can. When you type in your Google keyword, when you start typing something, and when it has been linked to your email ID, what happens? When the same email ID is being linked to your mobile phone, and when the same email ID is being linked to your office laptop, wherever you start typing, immediately whatever you typed earlier will get reflected in your mobile phone, will get reflected in your office laptop, so on and so forth. Say for example, if you have kids in your home, unlike my home, whatever I do, my kids used to go in, they used to type in Google and they will be typing in all the cartoons. So whenever I take in mobiles, I get, see, the Doraemon is available, the Shinchan is available. So this is what the data science does. They collect the information. Now they know what is your requirement. They will come up with a solution called, these are the new cartoons that are available, so you use it. So that is how the control has been done. That is why people are called as, they are called as Illuminatis. Now similarly, we have companies like Facebook, Amazon, Uber, Bank of America, Airbnb, Spotify, Netflix. Oh, many people will be using Netflix. For them, everything, they will be controlling the user. Now let us see an example of Facebook. Here in Facebook, what happens is that as whatever you type, see, as far as the Facebook initial information is concerned, you would have given your name, your birth date, your gender details, your wedding anniversary, so on, and you would have given some details. And after some 2 or 3 years, what happens is that as you will be notified that some 2 years before you have done this activity, or today is said to be your wedding anniversary, today is said to be your birth date. So that comes in. And if you have frequently searched for, or if you have frequently viewed a particular video, and it will say that it will come up as an advertisement stating that in Amazon you have this mobile phone that is available, so you can grab it. How do they know? It is all the data that you have shared. It is all. How do they collect? It is all through your email ID. How do they link? From the email ID, whatever possible things, whatever this particular member, this particular user is using it, they will be collecting all information, and they will be showing such advertisements to you people in the Facebook. So that is how the data has been, you can even say the data, your data has been looted by them, and it is utilized for your purpose and for their benefit. So likewise, you can say your data has been looted and it is utilized for, it has been shown, whatever you require has been shown for your own purpose, but by it means they also earn a lot. If it is a time of a festival season, if it is a time of a Diwali or Christmas, when you go in for shopping, when you want to purchase a watch, what happens is the similar kind of watch will be available, will be shown as advertisement in this Facebook page. This is one example. The second example is about the Netflix. I suppose many people would have used Netflix. This Netflix, they work with the recommender system. What is the recommender system? They work on two types of recommendation. One is called content-based recommendation. Other one is called collaborative filtering recommendation. As far as the content-based filtering recommendation is concerned, Supposing if a person is going to, watch a movie, action thriller movie, or else, let us say, for example, since many people are started, hopefully people are not sleeping. Let us say they have watched a movie which has been acted by a famous hero called Ramarajan. So they have watched the Ramarajan movie, and then after they could watch a similar kind of Ramarajan movie, whatever has been available will be listed to the user. So those are the recommended to the user. So those are all called as the recommenders. So that is called as a content based. So if I am fond of watching Ramarajan movie, then whatever movie that has been acted by the actor called Ramarajan will get displayed. That is called as content. Now, with this content, supposing if I am said to be X, if one of the person by name Y, who is not known to me, who is also a fan of Ramarajan, who also watches also Ramarajan movie or the Vijaykanth movie. Okay, let us consider Ramarajan. Who checks with the Ramarajan movie, he will say to him, it will get displayed. This particular fellow, he is a crazy fan of Ramarajan and he has watched such and such movie. Why don't you also watch it? These movies have been rated so many with so many credits. Why don't you also watch? So the content which is being used by the other will be shared to a similar user, whoever is trying to work on. That is called as collaborative filtering. This is a recommendation approach which is used in the data science. Now, I suppose by having a look at the Ramarajan movie, you would have come out of your sleep. Now, the third example is about the Amazon. In Amazon is concerned, here when I'm going to purchase a mobile, when I'm going to add it to a cart, and when I'm going to purchase a charger for the mobile, what sort of other information you will get? You would have encountered this. That is, you would have encountered as these are the other similar products people have purchased along with purchasing these many products. So, which means that how did they identify? That is a collaborative approach. Your aim is to purchase a mobile phone with a charger, right? Charger is separate. You are purchasing mobile phone and a charger. The other user has purchased a mobile phone and a speaker. So after you purchase this charger, it will say a similar user has purchased the speaker also. Why don't you also purchase? And supposing if your kids are nearby, and if some other user, apart from purchasing a mobile phone, they would have purchased a video game or some sort of hi-fi videos, gaming technologies. So supposing the kids are nearby, they will also urge you to purchase those video games along with the mobile phone. What happens here? You are also your family is being benefited because your kid enjoys video games, playing video games, and you get your mobile phone with your kids' favorite video games too. Now, what is the disadvantage for you? You have spent a lot. You wanted to come out purchasing only the mobile phone after spending only some 6,000 or 7,000 bucks. But now the amount has risen to 15,000 because of purchasing the mobile phone, charger, the speaker, and the video games. So, who is benefited? Your family, all members of the family are benefited. But the exact beneficiary is the retailer, or is the distributor, or the dealer, whoever is selling the product. And you are at a losses, you have spent a lot. So that has been identified by this Amazon. That is called as data science. I suppose you can understand the concept. That is the reason I am giving you with such example. The other example is about the Uber. I suppose almost everyone would have traveled in Uber, right? What do? Do they charge the same price always? Definitely not. They will charge based on the timing, based on the weather condition, based on the city condition, based on the lockdown period, or based on whatever condition it is, based on the peak hours. So they charge in a different perspective. So how do they charge? How do they know? It is all, and they also give you certain offers. If you are traveling for the first time, they will say that you have traveled for the first time, you have traveled for the second time. So for the third time, when you are going to travel, 50 rupees will be the off. But they will charge you in a hidden manner, sharing that you have opted this travel during the peak hour traffic, during a very poor weather condition. So this is how the data has been analyzed, been utilized. So this is an example of Uber. Now, okay, I'm saying from the start of the session, I'm saying it as data, data, data. How do you get the data? Where do you get the data? Okay, sir, if I have the data, I'm able to clean, I'm able to do everything. But I want to open a business, I need data. Where can I find the data? There is a website called data.world. I suppose few people would have browsed through the website, or else you can also make a try of the website called data.world, wherein you are supposed to register. And when you are going to register, and see, in terms of registration also, it says that you can log in using your username and password. But most of us, what we do, we don't log in through our username and password. What we do, you would have given or log in through Facebook, Google, Yahoo, so on. Why have they given Google, Yahoo, and so on? And why do we go in for this Google? We click on that Google, we click on the Gmail ID, and what happens? All the data available in the Gmail of your account gets it will be captured by this data.world, or by whomsoever the user is. So almost all your data is available in data.world. For people who, for the novices, I will say data is said to be a plural word, datum is said to be a singular word. As there are participants from many different departments, there is no word called datas. Data is a plural word, datum is a singular word. Now, here in this data.world, if I could type in as, if I want to get the rainfall ratio of the 55 years, if I just typed it as rain, I got the answer as for the past 55 years, the rainfall rates of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry has been given to me. So what happens? From that, I can identify, I can say that whether you will get sufficient rain this time or not. So that is what you can get it from this website called data.world. Now, let us see few data science algorithms. See, as I said in the initial session starting, we are not going to go into details of the algorithms, but these are some of the algorithms. One is called this linear regression algorithm. Second one is the decision tree. These are not the only algorithms. There are a number of algorithms available. I have listed only a few of them. Linear regression, decision tree, SVM support vector mission, naive Bayes, KNN algorithm, K nearest neighbor algorithm, random forest. Now, what is a regression algorithm? What do you mean linear regression? What is regression? Again, regression this is again been carried out by many of the lady members. What they do is, they will be telling your kid to purchase one product. But what your kid will do, he will not purchase the product instantaneously. If he likes to move around, then he will immediately purchase. Or else, the lady member, the mother of the family, what she will do is, she will insisting the kid to go and purchase that particular product. So she will keep a reminder. So again and again, this has been stored. Again and again, our data has been taken in. So again and again, it has been analyzed. That is the literal meaning of regression. So linear regression is a sort of sequential regression. Decision tree. What is a decision tree? Say for example, if your kid is said to be if he has completed his 12th standard, if he wants to pursue his higher studies, either arts or engineering. Say for example, so that is said to be a decision tree. One part you give it as arts, other is engineering. You say that by seeing your friends, you ask your kid to go in for engineering. If he goes in for engineering, then there are a number of branches: mechanical, artificial intelligence, data science, so on, like computer science, engineering, electronics, electrical. Which department to pursue? What is the future? How many campus placements I could get? What sort of offers I could get? What sort of benefits I could get? So that is said to be, so everything has been placed in a tree. So you're going to say, for example, you're taking up department called, he says that he wants to pursue a department called computers, something on computers. When you say something on computers, there are a number of streamlines: information technology, software engineering, and you have data science, artificial intelligence, you have business systems, computer science and business systems, computer science engineering. You have so many departments. So this is what a decision tree does. So you classify, and you come to a particular solution, and you will be in a confusion of mind till your kid joins. Next is about the support vector mission. So what sort of support vectors are required in order to work on? Next is the naive-based algorithm. I'm not going into the details of it. Next is the nearest neighbor. So if this is about the clustering. So a group of members, see, these guys have joined in IIT Madras. These guys have joined in Akash Training Center for getting trained to join in IIT campuses. So why don't we make our child to join the Akash Training Center, so that these people will go into or everyone will get a chance to join in IIT. So that becomes a KNN. So you take the contents from the neighboring. Next is about the random forest. So these are some of the data science algorithms. We will discuss about this data science algorithms separately in a different session. Now, let us see the skill set required for a data scientist. So if you want to be a data scientist, as I said, few lady members, they are by default, by their gene, they have become data scientists. But others, if you want to become a data scientist, how do I do? How do I proceed? I need to know at least one programming language. Programming language can be of, if you are going to know a language called Python, it will be all the better. If you are going to know a language called R, it is also very good. So you need to know, you need to be at least a master level in Python, in programming language. Then you need to know how to do statistics, you need to be good at statistics and probability. You need to have a good set of mathematical skills, and you need to know the visual, you need to have a basic idea, knowledge of the visualization tools. What are the visualization tools? We will see. There are tools such as Tableau. Tableau is anything and everything will get represented in terms of tables. Tableau. So then, for all these things, first and foremost is you need to know, you need to have a knowledge of what the business is, what sort of solution the client requires. So you need to have a business knowledge. So if you're going to have these 5 different terminologies: programming knowledge, statistics and probability, mathematical skills, visualization tools knowledge, and business knowledge, then definitely you can go in for the position of a data scientist. Now, as I said earlier, let us see a real-time example of how to adopt this kind of data science in terms of college admission, because many colleges, they suffer of admissions, and that too engineering colleges. Many students, when you call them, they will say that they are bored of joining engineering. They don't want engineering. They want to join the other streams like arts and science, so that they wanted to be like their own neighbors. So something they will be giving, and they will not be responding to your calls. Now, how do you make a people, or how do you convince them? how do you collect the data? So these are all some of the artifacts that are available here. First of all, you need to discover, you need to identify the person, whether it's a person who is fit to join a particular course. So you need to prepare a data, you need to plan, you need to build so that he works on, you need to show the operational effects, and you need to communicate the results. Now, let us see, we will see in this example, usually many people, even the arts and science people, college people, all college faculty, most of them, they have been asked to collect the mobile numbers, telephone numbers from such and such, from XYZ schools. Say for example, you have collected the mobile numbers of the students studying in one particular school. Then what do? What is the next process? You start dialing the mobile numbers. That's all. Okay. After dialing the mobile numbers, if they say that they are not interested, what will you do? You close it out. That is what the problem is. After collecting the mobile numbers, you are supposed to call all the numbers. You are supposed to segregate each number into whether a candidate is eligible to join engineering, whether a candidate is eligible to join accountancy group, whether a candidate is eligible to join arts and science group. Now you have segregated. Eligible to join, not eligible. Eligible to join engineering, eligible to join arts, not eligible. Whether in this eligible category, then what else? What are the other hindrances that you face when you call? Whether a candidate is, whether the phone is, most of their phones will be in the switched off mode. How many numbers are in switched off mode? How many numbers? Many numbers they will be ringing, but people will not be picking. How many have not responded? How many have not lifted? And many numbers will be wrong. Even if it is correct, they'll say it is a wrong number. How many are wrong numbers? So now, see, you have gone to a school, you have collected the data, you have collected the mobile numbers of all students, irrespective of the departments, irrespective of the groups and the branches. Now, you have called everyone, you have segregated how to, or you have segregated into eligible count, non-eligible count, wrong numbers, not responding, not lifting count, and not interested count. Now, this is how you have segregated. Now you have, after collecting, you have prepared. First point is getting the mobile numbers. What was the term that I said? That was called as data acquisition. Now, you have made it as preparation. Now you have made it as preparation. So, now you have prepared it. Then, what happens is that as after preparing, after identifying whoever is eligible, not eligible, you have prepared. You are going to analyze. Okay, he may be eligible, but he may not be interested to join engineering in your own college. So what will you do? Again, you reclassify. You classify it as hot, warm, or cold. Many people, few people, they wanted to join only this particular college. You classify it as hot. Many people, they say that I will ask my cousin, I will ask my brother, I will ask my family, and I will decide. You make it as warm. Few people will say, do not disturb. Please switch off. Please do not call me again. You make it as cold. Now, how do you convert the cold into warm, warm into hot, hot into blocking, hot into admissions? That is the modeling. That is what the modeling is. And after you admit them, how do you show them your college? How do you make them placeable? That is how you visualize. Data visualization comes in. And these are some other contents too. And like from the mentees, from the sibling side, from the candidate will be studying, his sister will be studying in 12th standard, so you can collect their data. So these are some other process. So as an example, I said only with respect to collecting mobile numbers, this is how you classify, this is how you analyze, this is how you build the data. And that when you make a candidate to enroll to join a particular college, then you are called as a so-called a sort of data scientist, not an exact data scientist, but a sort of data scientist. Now, let us see the tools for data science. As far as the analysis is concerned, we use the tools, the languages called R, Spark, and Python. And as far as the data warehousing is concerned, what is a warehouse? A warehouse is a repository, a place where all the contents are stored. A warehouse is concerned, what happens is a place where the contents are being stored, the data has been stored. Hadoop is a warehouse. SQL, structured query language, is a warehouse. Hive is a warehouse. Data visualization. Again, as I said, R. With the help of R language, you can represent anything and everything in terms of charts, in terms of pie graphs, in terms of bar graph, column graph, pie charts, so on. Tableau. Anything and everything will get represented in terms of tables. Then machine learning. As far as machine learning is concerned, again you have segregations as deep learning, wherein you have the machine learning studio, and which does all the contents, and Magout does who is a Magout? A person who maintains the elephants, right? A person who is able to analyze and who is able to control the contents of the data. That is Magout. So that is how the machine learning works. We are not going into the details of the deep learning. Fine. Let us see the applications of data science. As the time is running out, we will conclude it fast. Let us see the applications of data science. This is being used in internet search, exclusively in Google search. It is used for the image and speech recognition. It is used in the gaming world, and it is used for the price comparisons. Wherein if you're going to purchase one, if you want to purchase a mobile, again I make a comparative study of what sort of prices that has been quoted in Amazon, in Flipkart, in Snapdeal, so on. Right? It is used in stock market analyzing. It is used as a personalized recommended system. The example that we saw is for the Netflix. Netflix was the example. It is used in fraudulent detections. It is used in the pathological diagnosis. What is a pathological diagnosis? For the clinical pathologies, for the medical clinics. So when they are going to for the terms of coronavirus, different types of approaches have come. It has been classified into 10 different types. So those pathological diagnosis, it depends based on the patterns, and it has been used for the optimization techniques. So these are some of the applications of the data science. Then let us see the challenges of data science technology. So we need, in order to have an accurate analysis of the results, we need huge volumes of data with high variety of information, and data is required in order to get accurate, in order to make accurate analysis. Then this data is not adequate, like data scientists are not having such a kind of talents are not available still today. And the few management, they do not provide financial support for the data science team, and unavailability or difficulty in accessing the data. And the data science results, whatever results that you get, whatever predictions that we give, all predictions will not be utilized, will not be used. So it is not effectively used by the business decision makers. And explaining data science and the artifacts is very difficult for like to everyone in order to explain. And there are certain privacy issues too, and there are lack of significant domain knowledge experts available. So these are some of the challenges available, challenges of data science. And then let us see the job roles in data science. As far as data science is concerned, when you learn about data science, you can become a data scientist, data engineer, data analyst, a person who analyzes things, statistician, a person who calculates, who does all sort of statistics based on the formulas, and there will be a data architect position, data administrator who controls the entire database, and the business analyst who has a knowledge of the domain knowledge, the business knowledge, and the data manager, analytics manager. These are some of the job roles. Now, let us conclude this session with a summary. A data science is the area of study which involves extracting insights from vast amount of data by the use of various scientific methods, algorithms, and processes. So, statistics, visualization, deep learning, machine learning are some of the data science concepts. And here, we need to prepare, we need to What are the terms that we said? Data acquisition, data preparation, data analysis, data modeling, data visualization. Okay. What are the job roles available? Data scientist, data engineer, statistician, data architect, data analyst, data administrator, business analyst, data manager, analytics manager. What are the tools that are available? And what are the languages that you need to know? If you know Python, it will be very much better to work with the data science. So the tools such as R, SQL structured query language, Python are some of the data science tools. And some of the applications that we have seen so far as the data science is concerned is about the internet search, about the Google search, about the recommendation systems. The example that we saw is with respect to Netflix, the image and speech recognition, the gaming world, and the online price comparison, where you could make the price comparison for your mobile phones. But there are a number of websites like Compare Raja. There are other websites too. So high variety of information and data gathering collection is the biggest challenge of the data science. So this is how we have concluded, we have summarized, and thanks for your patient hearing. So if you have any suggestions, any doubts, clarifications, you can, and I can be reached at this email ID, and this is my mobile number. Any suggestions, any doubts, clarifications, any feedback on how the session was? You can either tell or you can give it in your chat box, in the chat window. Thanks for your patient hearing. Any suggestions? Hope I have covered the contents within the time limit that has been given to me. I've been allotted 1 hour. Within 1 hour, I was able to explain what the data science is, what is the role of a data scientist, and how it was, right? So people have asked for the mail ID. One moment. If you want, I will give you the mail ID again. This is my mail ID, this is my mobile number. Since people have asked in the chat box, share it again. Personal mobile pursuing your
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, sir.
Yes,
Hello,
madam,
sir.
you are audible.
Hello.
Yes, madam, audible. Yes, madam.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the session. Valuable information, sir. Participants, if you have any questions, you can just raise your hand. You can post your questions one by one. You can raise your hand. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.